Hello, and welcome to this tutorial to help you with design assignment 4 of CPE403 ECG603/ECG710. So the goal here is to actually do uh, uh, to use the CC1352 and transmit some services and characteristics. And so this tutorial is going to show you how to do uh, the BLE transmission, and I'm just considering the ADC down here. Uh, so I'm here. Where I start from is I have this BLE stack, and I started from project 0. And then you can keep adding your services as you go. But if you look at this project 0, it already has 3 services. LED service, button service, and data service. I would just keep that as it is. Um, and because the assignment also says to do the LED and the button straightforward, then you also have the data service, which is transmitting a particular fixed string. Well, the only thing that we need to add is the ADC. So for that, what I really did is I also took help from this training. And let me go down here. And then I looked at, ooh, looks so different. Okay. And let me go back here. And it went here at Bluetooth. And then it says Bluetooth LE custom profile. So that's where you can take some points. And I'm actually going to add a service. And I'm actually going to also, yeah, I'm just waiting for it to come. So you can add a service for the ADC. All right. So in the meantime, let me also start up my Code Composer Studio. All right, it's finally up. So this is your custom low profile. So, and basically what it says here is it just develops a custom service and a profile that we need to borrow the code from. And it actually talks here about, uh, the details of the program, how to add a profile. But what I would actually like to do is, instead of actually going through this, I'm just going to directly jump into a section which actually provides me with the complete code. And down here, somewhere down here, there is a small tab that basically says here, expand to see the solution. So in the solution files, you're going to create a service that is going to be called sunlight service. So it's just giving you a random value for now. It's incrementing. And you can also go to this example down here and add a characteristics, and it actually will generate, but for some reason it doesn't allow me to do um, this generation, but maybe it is something to do with my security settings. It just doesn't allow me to do it, but um, so let me just go back. So therefore I'm actually going to do it manually. Um, and you can actually read through this carefully and see uh, what needs to be done. So here it says how to create these two C files and then add this project, this content of project 0. That's what you're working on. And so what it is here, whatever is highlighted in black is what is in the project file, and then the green is where you have to include, right? So it's basically like a patch file format, and the insertion should take place, this insertion should take place right after you see these. And again, you can see that, and it has to uh, precede uh, these ones. So wherever you have, these two lines, you have to insert the ones in green, and then just make sure you take off the plus signs too. So, the way this one works is what our assignment needs. So we have a default kind of uh, we include a timer, so it has a default rate in which it actually publishes the information, which you can then tweak it later. And you can also send a right value, and that right value will, uh, you know, uh, kind of speed up or slow down the publishing rate. So we define a clock, and you can see this is coming from your real time. It's actually a real time system, and so by default you can see that this is your period in which it's actually, or this is your default sunlight timeout. I think it is like half a second. Every half a second, it actually pushes it out. And so you will have to add your services, and then there are standard functions like register the service, and then you have this is our main important thing, which is setting the parameter. So setting the parameter sets everything, including pushes the value, uh, which is in here. That is the value that is defined, and yeah, so that's the set parameter that is there. So you can have there are two parameters. One is the value, the other one is, as you can see, would be the timeout, which is nothing but the rate in which it's actually publishing. And so this is the actual code. When time's up, you can see that it is going to set the parameter, and for now, it is just pushing a value which is called my variable, and then it increments the variable after it publishes it. So the next time it publishes after 5, you will see that, or 0.5 seconds, it's going to see that the value is being incremented uh, to, +1. And so this is your clock handle functions, all those things, which basically your clock handle function will just simply say, you can see there is a function called my clock. The my clock will just simply execute the set parameter. And so you'll have obviously two of them. One is for the value, the other one is to read. Um, so this is the function if you want to change the value. So that's the value that is changed is actually the period. So you can increase or decrease the period in which it publishes. So the code itself is relatively straightforward to understand. The only thing is we need to change this to ADC. And also remember that this one requires you to pass an array, um, uh, which is it's a 16-bit value. You typically get a 12-bit ADC value, and it is a 12-bit ADC value is a 16-bit value. So you probably will store it as two numbers, and then you will be sending it at byte information, because if you go down here, what is being defined here is that that function itself is not the function, but the the set parameter. As you can see, the value is here if it's defined as void, but um, down, let me quickly see and see. I think it is actually defined as an unsigned uh, integer 8. That's what it is. That's the value that is signed. So it has to be split up into two uh, values. Uh, that's your read attribute as well as send attribute as a 2-bit value. And so when we actually look at the code, you will understand. But it's currently you have to modify it. But you know, for now, I'm actually sending it as two 8-bit numbers. And but again, you can also see this value that is here. Let me see the service itself as um, go back. The service itself is looking at length 4, so you can modify this to 2. Um, so because you're only going to send uh, 2 8 bits is what you're going to send. Uh, so you have to play around with that. But as I said, I will not. Um, I just wanted to show this demo, so I've not made those modifications yet. So just coming back to this one here, I have my project that is here. Let me push this here. So I did import this one. I started with project 0. This is my initial project. I've not made any modifications to this, and I just wanted to check if things are all going to be working as intended, and then I wanted to just you know see if I need to then I actually do a change here, which is add the service, and I push some arbitrary values, and then this is project 2 is where I actually add my uh, the ADC. So let me just do the project 0 first. This is just what I did is I just imported it from the BLE subfolder. All right, I've not connected my uh, device yet. Okay, let me connect my device. All right, okay, and then let me read. All right, now it picks up, and so it's actually going to do the code, and that's programming is done. And so once I'm out of it, as I said, I use Wiser. So this is installed in I'm actually using Android. It also has an iOS. And in order to do this, you probably need to also, enable USB uh, debugging. And so that's this one. And what I have here is I have some programs, and I'm just going to use the simple link down here. I'm going to do the scan, enable that, and then I can see project 0. I'm going to connect it, and then it's going to discover the services. And I have project 0 LED service, and this is my button service. So if I go in here, so you can see I have these 2 services that are there. So these are for both my LEDs. I can read the value, so you can see they're off, and this is off. And I can write a value, and you can see there is a hex value, but it's actually looking for hex value is fine, or binary value is fine. So if I type in 1 and I send it, and my red LED is on, and then if I go here, I press 1, send it, my green LED is on. If I read it, that's the status, it's on. If I read this, that's the status, it's on. And I can turn it off by putting in 0. Um, and it turns off the red one, right? 0. And it turns off my other LED. So that's that demo. Coming back, let me look at the uh, button services. So for this, I can read it. So my button is off. My button is off. And then I can actually enable notification. So when I enable notification for button 0, you can see that whenever I press it, and you can see that notification is basically was went up high and then back to 0. So that was a change of state, or that's basically what the change of parameter is. And you can actually look at the code down here. Let me see. And if you go down to, so this is all inside the folder called profiles. This is where your profile sits in. So as I said, anything you change here would be that you're actually changing the you know, it's a linked file, so they are actually in the library. And if you want to be double sure, what you can do is you can, if you don't want to change something which has happened to me multiple times, so you can go to here where your workspace is. Actually, it's not in your workspace. So if you go to TI, this is where your libraries are, and this is your simple link. And then you have examples, TOS, and you have CC13R1. Go to BLE stack, and what I would do is, just to be safe, if in case something messes up, just before you do anything, just keep a copy of it. And then so I can compress and keep a copy of it. And then now anything that changes, you made a mistake. So this is your project 0. So this is your files, application, and your profiles should be somewhere hidden. So it doesn't actually the profiles should be in um, down in, where is my BLE stack? This is my BLE stack. Um, the drivers. Yeah, so these are all drivers. Just looking for where my, okay, so it should be in here, 0, but it doesn't, it only has these files. Uh, and so which means these files are somewhere else. So let me also back up that. Um, Definitely not in here, not in the examples. I should go to sources, TI probably, yeah, BLE stack. And I think this is where, if you go to this, there's my profiles here. And this is project 0. And that's where your stuff is. So what I would do is I would also back up that and keep it just in case if something goes wrong, I will be able to do that. And it's the same thing, you can do it for your other assignment, which is that you can back it up too. All right. So now that's taken care of. Now let's go back to this. Um, so where is my visor? Uh, all right. So I'm still connected. Looks like that. Mm, and so, and me do the other one. I can enable this too and enable notification. So if I press my other button, and then you can see it actually went up high and then down low. Let me hold this. So now it actually went up high at this time and then at low at that time. So you can actually see. And sorry, couldn't see properly the word. Yeah, I had actually holding it for about 5 seconds. So you can see that. All right, coming back here, this is your last data service. And so this one, if you want to test it out, I can test it out by using, let me see, serial. You open up the serial port, and that's my device that is connected. I can see that. I have to right click on it, go to settings because it's 9600, and I have that. Oops, uh, that, and say OK. And so here you can see that I should be able to write hello. I don't know. It's probably has 40 characters. My last time I said, and type. Oh, it is actually in hexadecimal. I have to put that. There you go. So what I did is I did send it, and it says notification is disabled. This one is probably yeah. This one shows you the debugging in there. Maybe that right is not meant for. Oh, I don't know what it was meant for. It says, oh, that's basically what it is. Yeah. So this is a pretty long string is actually in uh, uh, that pretty long string is actually what it's actually coming if you can read it. Um, and if you go down here into the data services, um, and you can see that at some point it's going to be there as a default value, and that's here. Okay, let me search for it. Okay, it's not in here. Uh, it's not in here too. So let me go back to applications, project 0. Maybe it's just not. Yeah, there you go. So this is the placeholder for that. That's what it's actually trying to transmit. And when you write to it, I'm not sure if you want to write to it. It should say it's able to write. Maybe I just put um, it only has. Let me see. It said hello. Yeah, now it's actually gone there. Let me see here. Yeah, then you can see. I think probably it's only accepting, so it's only you can see it actually came back here as hello. And so this is very, uh, you know, you can put it on a clock, and then you can use this data to periodically send, you know, let's say a text message saying I'm alive. And the other one is down here. Let me go back here and you can write another one here, but this is, I think, streaming something, and you can write that, and you should be able to also say, oh, so this one doesn't have any. It has a notification. Yeah, it doesn't have. I have to look at what the, yeah, this is the right notification, so it should actually give you something here, but I'm not sure what the format is. Maybe I'm just um, right, and it says no reply. So it has received it, but it should still reflect on it. But the most important thing, what I wanted to say is you need this guy over here. This is what it is. It's every time you have to do a read, it has to have a notification when you modify it. All right, so everything is so uh, working as intended. And the other thing you can also do is let me just close this, and you can also test it with another example. As I said, it also says use this simple peripheral. Let me build that. Okay, let me close up. And in the simple peripheral, it does have uh, an example down here. Um, so you can see that the profile itself is it's just basically called simple get profile. And so this one here has one service, and it has about 5 characteristics. So this is pretty much um, you know what you can do, and then it also explains all different variations of one has read and write, the other one has read, the other one has write, the other one has notify, and the last one is basically has uh, characteristics has length of 5. So 5 unsigned uh, 8 bits is what you get, I guess. Yeah, so if I have to have this, let me burn this and see. All right, there you go. So it says my peripheral is connected. Let me go to Visor and let me open this up again. And now it's going to say different node because I think we changed the node, and you can search um, how to change it. It's all in characters, individual characters. And here is your peripheral service, and you see that there will be 5 characteristics with write, read. So if I do a read, it's probably not going to do. Yeah, it's just giving you a value. If I write a value, say 9, and here you can see that I transmitted 9 on it, and I got one character 9. So here again is another peripheral just to read. This is another, um, yeah, so another characteristic to write. This is to notify. Probably it's going to, yeah, so it looks like it's going to has a timer. Yeah, or the value is just, I think each one has a fixed value. And if I read this, and you can see that it's going to give me a value. Oh yeah, it's going to say at some point for that, it's going to, I think this number here is, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's what it is. It's bad, and it's yeah, I'm not sure what the value it's pushing, so or it probably didn't pair properly. But for that, it's gonna. This is still it's saying it's pairing and connecting. Maybe there's some setting. Let me close this. Let me start it up again. Let me scan this. Enable. And my simple peripheral. Yeah, I got that. See if I can read this. Yeah, so we can see that reading um, is this. That's the value there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 5 values, and it's just reading those 5 values. So that's the working of that. So let's go back. And now what I did is, so the next thing I did is let's move on to project one. So in project one, as you can see, so this is, even though you have the profiles here, so what I did is I created um, 2 profiles, but I actually put those profiles in, you can see those are not linked files. So if you go to my directory, I just said file, uh, you know, a new, and then I put a source file and a header file with these two. And if you actually copy it from, as I mentioned, if you actually copy it from the website, no, not that one. If you actually copy it from the website, you can see this. That is my header file. This is my header file, and it actually gives you a very short 16-bit notification. Sorry, it's in here. Yeah, so this, that's not in here. Sunlight service. Sorry. Um, I'm just trying to see where did I copy that one from. All right, so I think this one here is in a very short format. So I think I did replace it. So this is actually Sunlight Services.h, right? This one, okay. Um, yeah, I was actually looking at that, but I don't know why I couldn't find it. So if you look at the Sunlight Services.h, yeah, um, this detail, yeah, this is the detail, is is in a 16-bit format. So what I did is I converted that into a 128-bit format. So this is, you can see that changed it into base 128, and so that thereby it has a big one. So this is my service. I also labeled as 1140, and then this one 1141, this one 1142. Put them all together in this format, and this format I picked up from this example, right? If you go into button services, it looks like this, and then I just changed all these names and everything, and you have to change it all over the file, right? Yeah, I changed this all over the file, these update periods or values or the service UIDs. I changed it. So, and I kept the rest of it the same. So this is 1140, then the characteristics is 1141, this is 1142. And then there's no change in the rest of it. And then what I did is I went into the project zero, and as you can see, this is one additional thing that you have to add. You also have to add your uh, service file. So here you can see my Sunlight services was also added. These two are actually, as I said, they are in your original uh, file location. And I basically went and added whatever the particular document. This document says, right? This document says here, then go to project zero and keep adding, these things. So you can see I added that, and then you can see I would have the clock for periodically executing it. Um, so I added the clock for periodically executing it. So you can see this is my um, clock that I added. So already you have another clock, but here is the clock that is added, and this is my global variable, my variable, and you have to add certain functions, all those different things. So that takes some time to do it. And so once I have added it, let me see if I can build it properly. So, so that was done. Okay, so there's no warnings or errors. Um, all right. And then what I did is, let me burn this one. All right, that's done. So let's go to this. Okay, let me enable this. Let's still be project zero. Let's click on it. And now you can see that it's weird. It's just showing me still characteristics of like, it's probably not, it should not show me peripherals. So it's actually showing me the peripherals. It says it is picking up, but it's not refreshing. Okay, let me close this. Let me recycle the power for my Bluetooth. Okay, and then see my device now. I'm gonna actually run this again. Sometimes you have these kind of issues. What I would recommend is I would recommend you to use the UniFlash and clear off the entire, um, you know, kind of flash, and then, probably things will work because it might be something to do with. All right, so it's come up. Let me hopefully see. Okay, project 0. Um, and there you go. Okay, so it just picked up. So here you can see now I have the project 0 for LED button. This is my data service, and this is the one that I just introduced. So here you can see that I have those two services. One of them is supposed to be um, with read and write. The other one is with uh, read with notifications, disk notifications. And so if I look into this, so that's what it is happening. Yeah. And it should basically show the variable, right? So this one, if I enable it, it's just going to be a running number, and it's going to periodically push the value. There you go. So it periodically push, it's already at 10. That's the value I'm sending, though you can see 11. So every half a second, or maybe it's a second, it's now at 12. It's showing as a hex value. If I do a decimal, um, let me see the next time it shows up. There you go. So that's the value. It was 15. So it actually reads this way. So it's actually at 15, 16, and then you get the next number followed by the next number. So, and yes, 4. Um, so if I switch it back to hexa number, let me see. Yeah, oops. It's just printed on top of it. Yeah. So this one, you can see that its hexa number values is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it actually goes reverse because that's the way it is implemented. There is also some functions you can actually go through at the project 0, which tells you about reverse. I haven't dug into that much, but there are functions that you can define. Here you go. So this one is project 0, hex reverse, no reverse. So we probably need to figure that out. And so let me go back to this guy. But bottom line is it's actually sending you a fixed value, and that is incrementing. And this one is probably also getting you, oh, that's the rate in which it's going to publish. Yeah, so let me put it in decimal number. Let me read the value. So it's like so it's actually going to be 9196130. So I'm going to write a value which is, let's say, let me write 300. I don't know. I'm just giving it a ballpark number. Now you can see that the values get updated like really, really fast. It's actually incrementing, um, so that you can see it just went to, there you go, 2. And then it's just the numbers are going to go in this way. So as you can see, it's actually following a kind of a weird big Indian format. So this one you can see it's 4 followed by that. It's it always doesn't give you the so sometimes these numbers can be confusing to read, but this is basically 50 and that number. But yeah, if you try to put it there, yeah, it's going to give you some a bunch of yeah, this is the best way to read it. So it's 70. It's 7, and this is the number. Uh, and you can change that. Okay, so that's your second part. Okay, and let me close this. Let me go back to my. So what I did is the third part of it, which is the project 2. What I did is I went to project 0, didn't change much, but what I did is include this ADC, right? And also what I did is I went into project 0 down here and enabled my peripheral. Down here, I enabled it to, here you can see that I added ADC, and I said use that, and also did saying that pick it up from, uh, well, I pulled it out, so now I have to put it back. I just also did ADC, that is DIO23 is my ADC 0 pin. Let me connect and I will be back. All right, so I did connect it. So I enabled this, and so that was that. And then you can see here I defined, just like in your previous examples, I defined a global variable down here for my ADC functions. Just going to go through it and see that, okay, this is my ADC handle, and that's my ADC 0 value, which is an unsigned integer of 16 bits. And yeah, I didn't do much, even though you have this variable here. And every time you wanted to send the value, I just came down to my, um, so that was the creation of the function. And let me see, yeah, so this is where it is. So here you can see that when you have the initialization, I included the code here to initialize my ADC. So the parameters were initialized. I'm saying use ADC 0. And then this part is where I'm making sure the ADC is open. So the ADC was open there. And then I came to um, my set parameter function. I'm just looking at my set parameters. Yeah, I'm just looking at set parameter. Yeah, so this is the part where, so this is the process application message part, and this part is where, the button states are sent, the data is sent, all those things are sent. So I came down here and I included, so whenever the time is up, the periodic time is up, I just converted that over here. And this is, but you again, you guys have to bring it in the right format. So I defined for the 16 bits, even though it goes as 4 16 bits is what the space is required, but I'm only pushing in, um, the payload here is only 4 bits, so those numbers are the ones that are going to change. The other two numbers are going to be probably, I don't know, random zeros, I'm not sure. And then I have, so this one only accepts, the payload in the form of an array. So that's why, you pass that value. And you can see here, I uncommented this. This is where it was. This function was there already here. And all I'm saying is I read the value and I just shift it into 2 bits of location. I mean, 2 values, and I send it to the payload. You guys can actually modify it however you want. And that's pretty much what I did. And right click on it. Let me build. Okay, so no problem here. And let me program it. Oh, I think I didn't. That's still compiling. I was updating it, so it's still going to, yeah, its building is done. It's launching. All right, so that's done. So let me go back to Visor. Let me scan it. And hopefully I should get as my project 0. Uh, and this is my service that I'm really looking for. And I can simply say notify. And yeah, you're going to get, I'm actually, my stuff is in the middle. So it actually is 6020, right? Or you can see I'm not changing anything. So it's changing from somewhere from 60 E0 because it's in hexa. And that's basically you're submitting, you're transmitting. If you put decimal value and then it's going to become like a ridiculously long number. So this is actually, it should read it backwards, which is 651 is probably what it's reading. Okay. And if you, what I also did is just to check the values, I actually went and downloaded this one, which is ADC single channel, and I tested. So when you are in the middle, it's about 600, and when you are on the top, it's about 13. The value is around 13 something. Oh, 3000. Oh, this is 16. Yeah, should be 16. Um, okay. Um, Yeah, so I think I shifted this. So now I think I made some changes. So it should be 1560 is what it should be showing. Okay, let me see. And obviously you can see that I'm connected. I'm going to change this value. I went to a really low value, and then you can see it's actually showing me zeros or 002. So that's how it should be read. And then I'm just back to my value, which is they go, which is that. I think I'm still operating at 1600. And then let me just go back to the hex value because that's what is good. Because I have two hex values now. Yeah, that's just an overlapping value. Just so I have four values. I can see that this shouldn't make sense. This four zeros here shouldn't make sense. So your 6010 6000 is what it is. Um, that should really make, you know, this. Okay, and then I go back all the way down. Oops. Um, and then if I go all the way back down, then you can see I say 0010, and now it's completely zeros. I hope I'm just doing it in the right direction. 0030, and so on. And then I go back to my original position, which is in the middle, and it's going to be 60 and that. And then if I go all the way to the right, extreme, and then you can see I have C0, which has such a C040. That's the value which should get you there. C010, so that's the value. So anything, I'm just going to reduce this a little bit, and let me see if any value shows up. And so it's actually very difficult to see the variation. So I'm going to write this guy into, I think this would be, maybe I should write it in the proper format. I can write it. Yeah, so I think it only requires two, right? All right. Mm, Yeah, so I did write it. Yes, but it's still slow. Okay, let me increase it to some value like that. All right, I didn't write it. Let me write it a little bit faster. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I don't want to just put it. Um, yeah, so now, it just has a range. So now you can see it is streaming a lot of, so now it's actually increased. Keep it in the center, decrease it, 00, that, let go, 6 something, see something, 6 something. So now you can actually see if I move it around, it's actually giving me the values how I need it. So that's the ADC part. Okay. So that's, and then it's going to actually keep doing, until you get to that point. Think it's gone back here. And if you wanted to transfer it in the decimal format, I think you have to again, reformat the file in the decimal format and send it, but I'll let you guys handle this. So this is what I did in terms of, going step by step. And then obviously, I think you need to have 5 characteristics. So 4 of them are here. I'm not sure what the 5th one is, but I hope you guys can handle the 5th one. Um, so yeah, so if you want to write the PWM, so again, it's the same. Whenever you write it, you take the value, and then whenever you want to modify the set parameter in there, just include the file to update the PWM value. All right. So I hope this one was a good starting point, and you should have, uh, you know, some head start in implementing. I mean, this is almost 75% or 80% of your design assignment. All right, and just tweak a little bit with the way in which the data is displayed. All right, thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.